Wednesdays with the Organized Author. I'm Lucinda, and I'm so glad to have you guys here with me today. I just wanted to spend some time to share with you some of the things that I've learned over the last year or so as a bullet journaler, and I'm hoping all of that information can be beneficial for you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, well, the first do on our list is to start with the original bullet journal video and website. The bullet journal, if you weren't aware, was created by Ryder, Carroll, and he has a YouTube channel. He has, I think, a personal one and then a bullet journal one, and I will link both of those down below for you. And of course, there's also the bullet journal website, which is bulletjournal.com. And the reason why I say you should always start with the creator so that you can understand what the basics are of the plan. Why did it get started? And the short of it is it was more difficult for him to do or to process or remember, not to do, but more process or remember, like a lot of us, things that we needed to remember to do and take care of all electronically, because some of us are kinesthetic learners, or we learn in multiple different ways, and it's easier for us to forget something if all we have is electronic memory of it or a conversation about it. I know for me, if I don't write it down, it doesn't exist. It just doesn't. It escapes my mind with all the other things that are going on in my mind. So watch his video and see the very basics, because a lot of times people get caught up in the thought that my bullet journal must look like everyone else's. It must be very pretty and creative, and it does not have to be, because his was just simple bullet journal, a simple book and one pen, and then there's just a few basic pages that you create. And so I've seen a lot of different bullet journals, and some of the most efficient ones have no decorating in them whatsoever. And then I've seen some very, very efficient ones that have tons of decorating in it. And I've always told people as a business person to always start with the original and always seek the experts when you're trying to accomplish something or learn how to develop something, so that you can understand what is the mindset and the thought behind the process, instead of trying to mimic someone else, because then maybe that's very beneficial and effective for them, but it may not be beneficial and effective for you at all. It may become too complex or not complex enough, depending on what's going on in your life. So go ahead and watch his videos if you haven't already. In fact, he had a fairly recent update on a couple of changes that he was doing. I think it was about maybe 8 months ago, just tiny little tweaks that benefited him. And then on the website, you can see how other people have made changes as well. So always start with the original, that original expert. Okay, for our next do, you do want to look at what other people are doing for ideas. So watch some other YouTube videos. There are a lot of tutorials out there. There's a really good series right now by Boho. It's kind of a whole basic series that you can watch on her channel about the bullet journal, and she shows you a lot of examples of what she does and the reason behind it, from the basics to more detailed stuff. So look at what other people are doing, but as ideas initially, not as requirements, because you'll find things that'll be really, really interesting, but you may decide, or no, I'm not going to do that, or that doesn't apply to my life. Don't decide that you need to put it in there because you saw someone else do it. But watching these videos and looking at these pictures on Instagram and on Pinterest will give you ideas of things that maybe you do need to start keeping track of, or maybe you need to keep track of it but not necessarily draw to do it, or make a specific chart. Maybe you'll draw some diagrams, or maybe you won't draw what you saw someone else do, but you'll just make a list or a chart. So look at them as ideas initially, and then you'll decide which ones you want to choose. Now we're going to talk in a second about experimenting, so you can still experiment, but just don't look at it as a requirement. So I guess that's a don't. Do look at what other people are doing. Don't decide that you have to do it. You're going to do whatever works best for you. Okay, the next one is to select, this is a do, select what you're going to bullet journal in. Okay, and you can bullet journal in anything. If you can write in it, you can bullet journal in it. So it doesn't have to be a traditional journal. It doesn't have to be a Leuchtturm or a Moleskine. It doesn't have to be anything that's bound. It can be in a 3-ring binder. It can be in a big, binder or a traditional planner that has pages that you can put into it that aren't already planned, like plain paper pages or dot grid or lined or square grid. Anything that you can write freely in, you can bullet journal in. There are lots of different options, and I'll just show you a few that I use. So, and you don't have to bullet journal in just one thing for everything, but you can if you want to. If you're everything for this time period of my life has to all be in one thing in one place, then do that. But if that doesn't work for you, don't. There's another don't. Don't do it. You do whatever works for you. And sometimes when you start doing something in the beginning, you're not really sure what works for you, and that's fine too. The beauty of the bullet journal is you can change it at any time and do what you find works for you now, or look for something that will work better for you now. So for instance, this is a Moleskine that I do post something on social media called Today's Positive Short, and I use this one solely for that purpose because I don't want it mixed in with everything else. I want to be able to go back and flip through this like it's a book. So that's why I do this one. And this was on sale for $9.99, so it was awesome. Of course, you have to number the pages in the Moleskine, but that's okay. And you can also make one. I have a video linked down below where I made this. It's like a DIY Leuchtturm because Leuchtturm has 2 ribbons. And it started with a composition notebook that I bought back to school season for 50 cents. And altogether, this probably cost $5, maybe $5 to $7, okay? And then I have a big one that I use, which was in another video for my bucket list. And again, I don't reference this every day, so it doesn't need to come with me everywhere. It stays at home. And then you can also bullet journal in Traveler's Notebook. So this one I use for meal planning, and I'll have this in a separate video coming up. So this one stays at home, but whenever I make my meal plan and make my grocery list, then I flip through here to these recipes. Because I'm vegan, and that, it's a different lifestyle, and sometimes, it's always better to plan ahead. And then this is where all my business planning is, and it's a Traveler's Notebook. And both of these Traveler's Notebooks are Lucinda Dory's, which I sell on Etsy, my Etsy shop, Lucinda Dory Planners. And so this one has my calendar. So I do actually print out a calendar from mylifeallinOneplace.com, which is a fabulous website. You should go to it. I think everything is free. So I have a full calendar in here, but then all the other inserts I use for my business. So that's all in there. And then I also have one that I just did that is in a video as well for DIYing bullet journals and getting thrift store finds. So this started off brown, and I painted it and got it from thrift store, and it's a 3-ring binder, and I use this for my business transactions for bullet journaling and keeping up with all that. So it stays with me in my car, and it's awesome. So you just do whatever works for you. Don't feel like it has to be one book. Don't feel like it has to be the same book someone else has, and don't feel like it can't be anything that you can write in, okay? Okay, the next do is to be flexible. And what I mean by that is accept that you're going to make mistakes. And that's one of the wonderful things about a bullet journal. You don't need to worry about, oh, I wrote that on the wrong date, or that's in the wrong section of this pre-printed page that I've purchased, and now the sticker's stuck down and I can't remove it. Be flexible. If you mess up or you decide, let's start with messing up. If you mess up, you can put a sticker on it and use the whole rest of that page. Or you can make art out of it, or you can just put a big old X on it. It doesn't matter. Functionality is most important. And so I mess up all the time. And I'll just show you guys. So like I was drawing out this page, and I decided for this week, I'm going to try to see how this kind of works. It's like a Dutch door. Not sure yet if I like it, but we'll see. And so when I was drawing my lines here, I wanted this to be a big box, and I wasn't paying attention, and I drew lines going straight across. Is that the right one? No, it's this one. And I was drawing lines straight across and I didn't intend to, and I was like, oh man. And I hate whiteout because when you draw over it or color over it with a pen or a color pencil, it doesn't look right. But you know, there's stickers. I have stickers in my Etsy shop, and I just put stickers over it. I was like, you know, you can't even tell. It doesn't even matter. I can still use this exactly the way I want it to. Now I've got lines here. I may leave them. I may put notes there. I may cover them with something. It doesn't matter. I haven't wasted anything. I don't have to start over. But if you want to start over, you can. You can do that, and you can have blank pages. You know, just be flexible. Use your creativity or don't. It's totally up to you. So, and so you see, I always use an insert for every month, and I forgot that this month was ending on a Friday, so I have this space. So I'm going to make something creative. I'm probably going to make it end of the month, something, you know, review or some other notes to carry over to the next month. But, you know, be flexible and forgive yourself and have fun with it. It's your creation and you can do whatever you want. Okay, the next one is to bullet journal according to your needs and budget. So there are tons of different things that you can use in your bullet journal, as you know, because they're everywhere. All different types of pens and markers and dual tip markers and coloring pencils and different brands out there. And there are exceptional products. And if you have the budget to engage in them, then by all means do. There's something about having your favorite pen or something that writes really well, or your markers and color pencils that are your favorites. But you don't have to go on the high end. You can be on the low end, which is really, really easy to do. When I first started bullet journaling, I started off with dollar store, Dollar Tree, so it was absolutely a Dollar Tree pens. And because I wasn't sure if it was something that I wanted to do. And so it was easy to find a fine point there that worked until I decided, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I was in the position to get better pens. And let me tell you, my favorite pen is the Pilot G2. And I have it in like every color they've ever made. And it comes in lots of different point tips, 0.38 up to 10. And I love it because it's still very affordable. Even, I mean, it's not very much, you know, maybe most packages are less than $5, depending on where you go. But, you know, to get several black pens, but they're not all the same point. And the colors, you know, you have to get different colors to get all the colors in different packets. But they're still usually under $5 to do that, but also that they are refillable. And you can do it all at the website. Very inexpensive. I think shipping is free as long as you spend like $3.99. But it's refillable, so all I have to do is buy the replacement refills. Depends on where you go, how much they are. I bought some just the other day at Office Depot, and they were like $3.42 for a package of 2. So that's still cheaper than me buying. No, it might have been more in the package. But anyway, it's still cheaper than me buying a bunch of new pens when the tips are just fine. So anyway, yeah. You can do that. You can start with the Dollar Tree pens. You can start with the basic dollar color pencils if you're going to use those. I have lots of color pencils, and none of them are the expensive kind, and they look just as good to me. But so you've got that. I've got different other types of pens that I use occasionally. Like I've got the Micron pens, which are definitely more expensive, but you can also get them on a 40% off coupon, usually at Joann Fabrics. They have those frequently if you sign up. But anyway, you can just have a regular dollar store pen, regular dollar package of color pencils. Let's see what else. Dual tip markers. I have some dual tip markers that I got at Walmart. They were like $7 and something. They're not the brush ones, so I do still want to get that. But I would absolutely recommend, if you want a good eraser, to get a Staedtler eraser. Staedler, I believe. Let me see what it's called. Of course, I can't find my eraser right now in time for this video. But anyway, yeah, because it's an artist eraser and erases very, very well. And, you know, traditional erasers just smudge and it's hard to get get it taken care of. So I definitely recommend that, and I would definitely recommend, and it's not very expensive. It's probably a few dollars, you know, as opposed to a whole package for $1. That's true, but it's worth it. And so that, and a metal ruler whenever you're able to, because then whenever you make your lines, if you're making any lines, it won't smear, because plastic and other rulers will. And it's because, I'll show you, it's because it has this cork part underneath it, I think, is the reason why. So this is metal, and then this, so whenever you're writing, you've got that space so that you're not smearing, you're not carrying the ink, along with you. All right. Okay, I think that's it for that one. Okay, and last but not least, I suggest that you keep this reference guide from Tiny Ray of Sunshine. She has a free downloadable reference guide. I think it's called Bullet Journal Guide. And it's awesome because it covers really everything that Ryder Carroll did in his video that introduces you to the bullet journal. And it's all on one page in a really nice chart. So if you ever get bogged down, you feel like I'm doing too much and I'm creating all these pages that I'm not using, and I want to be creative, but I'm not being creative, or I'm being too creative and I'm not getting enough done, you know how we can be, then that's a really good reference guide to get you back on point, get you back to the original idea of why you became a bullet journaler in the first place, and so that you can have a happy time doing it. Well, I hope this video helped you guys. I hope it was encouraging. I hope it encouraged you to be you while you learn to do something new, and not to try to be like anyone else, but to be the best you can be, the most effectively productive person you can be, and to have an organized life. All right, well, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and like it. That's what I just said, like it. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, and leave me a comment down below to let me know if this video was helpful for you and what else you would like to see along the lines of bullet journaling. And until next time, happy writing.